Alright, look, I have a really good reason of why this unhaul is so big. I didn't want them anymore. Hello all of my otaku friends, my name is Profitaku and welcome back to my channel for another video. Today is a highly requested video, the Manga UNHAUL. I got rid of over 250 volumes. What did I get rid of? And more specifically, why did I get rid of them? Stay tuned. So let's start this manga unhaul with one large category of manga that I disposed of in my collection, and that is Battle Shonen. As many of you know, I don't really have a big connection to Battle Shonen and Shonen Jump manga, so it just seemed right for this manga to start to get phased out of my collection. So the first three series we're going to talk about is Chainsaw Man Complete, Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Z Complete, as well as Naruto volumes 1 to 27. So all of these have the same exact reason of why I let them go. My goal in 2023 is to downsize my Battle Shonen and Shonen Jump manga and switch over to the Shonen Jump app on my iPad. I just feel like it's a more easy way for me to ingest these series, especially because I don't see a lot of rereadability in Battle Shonen manga. So I decided, you know what, it's time to let these series go. They're just wasting away in the collection. I don't have any urge to read them anytime soon, and this gives me a chance to, if I do read them digitally, I can read them on the road just whenever I want. With Chainsaw Man specifically, I picked up each volume as it came out. It wasn't the best way to ingest the series, but I did decide to let it go before rereading it because I can just go ahead and reread it on the Shonen Jump app, and I feel like after that reread, I'm still not going to want to keep it in my collection. And with Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto, I've actually never ingested those series. I skipped that childhood generational moment for me personally growing up, so I'm definitely more receptive to checking those series out, but they're just such long running series. They take up so much shelf space and I just don't have the urge to collect them physically. Another series that I purchased, I didn't read it and I decided to let it go, was the Demon Slayer box set, and the reason for this is because I'm anime only for Demon Slayer. I was deciding whether I wanted to go ahead and just get the box set and read ahead, finish it off after season 2 of the anime. I went ahead and did that, and then I just didn't do it. And it just got to the point after hearing the mediocrity of the story and knowing that the anime is really what carries this series, I was like, forget it, let's just let it go, I'll just be anime only. Another Shonen Jump series I just completed that I decided to let go was DragonQuest, The Adventures of Dai, in the 5 omnibus volumes, and the reason why I let those go is, number one, I have to finish the rest of the series via scans online, and also because we haven't heard from Viz whether they're going to continue printing this series up to 37 volumes, so because of that, I just had to let it go. After reading through the first 5 omnibuses, I was like, look, this is a really fun series, a very playful action adventure series. Does it have a lot of rereadability? No. Are the characters that deep? Not really. I mean, yeah, there's some good life lessons about perseverance and stuff like that, but just not enough for me to keep it in the collection. A Shonen Sunday series that I decided to let go was Yakitate Japan volumes 1 to 26 Complete, the bread baking manga that I just couldn't shut up about for a couple months. I just talked about the second half of my series in my last reading log, so I highly recommend you check that out, but overall, it was just an absolute disaster that second half, and it was so bad that it just left the worst taste in my mouth and made me go, I just never want to read this ever again. It was super disappointing because this bread baking battle shonen was just such an interesting take, something super unique in the collection, and I was super glad to have it, but that ending was just such a disaster, or that last half, that I just couldn't keep it. And the last battle shonen series that I decided to let go was Tiger and Bunny volumes 1 to 9. I had just picked this series up at the end of last year, and the reason why I let this one go is because after I grabbed it, somebody in my comment section was like, hey Prof, the anime is way better than the manga just doesn't go anywhere, and because this is an anime original series, I was like, you know what, I kind of regret buying this, I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. Alright, moving on to some other things now. We have Classroom of the Elite volumes 1 to 10 in the light novel format from 7 Seas, and the reason why I let go of Classroom of the Elite is because number one, I have way too many light novels to read, and number two, the direction and the taste of my light novel ingestion are starting to go in a little bit of a different direction. This year for my light novel reading, I really want to focus on reading very light-hearted, fun, isekai type of series. After the success of Reborn as a Vending Machine, I just really wanted to try out this genre because I just had so much fun with it. And with me also reading 86 and the Monogatari series, I just didn't have enough room for any more strategic, darker light novel series, so I decided to let this one go. Next up is a beloved series in the manga community, and one that was recommended to me very, very heavily, and that was Monthly Girl Nozaki-Kun volumes 1 to 13. 2014. My problem with this rom-com series, and the reason why I sold it off, is because there were several volumes where I just didn't laugh at all. And there were characters in the series that were recurring characters throughout the series that I just really didn't care about, so when we got to those chapters and when they took up a large part of that volume, it really deterred me away from the series. I'm very particular about the romance and comedy series in my collection. If it doesn't make me laugh continuously, if it just makes me chuckle, if the romance doesn't have a lot of progression, I just don't see a lot of rereadability there, and it just has to go. Now, a shoujo series that I did let go that I kind of regret, to be honest with you, is the full collector's edition of Fruits Basket volumes 1 to 23. This is a beloved classic shoujo series, drama, thriller, integrated with the Chinese zodiac. I did ingest the rebooted anime, and I got through halfway through season 2, and I actually dropped it because the pacing was just really bad in my opinion. I bought the manga because I was like, you know what, I want to give this series a second chance. I want to read the manga, but then as I continued to reflect on what shoujo I wanted to read in 2023 and beyond, I just didn't see myself coming back to that series anytime soon, so I just decided to let it go. If I do want to pick it up in the future, it will always be ready for me, but for right now, I just wanted to free up some shelf space and get some more money. Some other romance, supernatural series that I didn't get a chance to read was Rascal Dreams of Bunny Girl Senpai and Ancient Magus Bride volumes 1 to 16. With the Bunny Girl Senpai series, it is based off of the light novel. I did ingest the anime. I really enjoyed it, and the second part of the anime is coming out, so I just decided, you know what, forget the manga. I mean, that's like the third iteration of the series, so let me just go with the anime and just stick with it. It's a good series, don't get me wrong, and I actually heard the manga adaptation was pretty good. When I flipped through it, the art looked really great, but you know, just didn't want it anymore. And with Ancient Magus Bride, when I was just looking at this series, which I had been collecting since 2020, I had never gotten around to it. It's just the fantasy aspect of this series just really didn't appeal to me. People were saying how fantastic it was, but because it's fantasy, I was like, you know, I just don't really want to read it. And a lot of people were saying it was good, but it was kind of weird. And so when I hear kind of weird, I go, okay, bye-bye. But Ancient Magus Bride is another series I do want to ingest at some point in the future, not right now. The second season of the anime actually just got announced for April 2023, so that's super exciting, so maybe I'll go that route instead. Next up here is a short 4-volume series, A School Frozen in Time. The artwork is done by the same mangaka who did Your Lie in April. This is a mystery series following a group of students getting locked into a school, and they're trying to solve this mystery of a death of one of their classmates. I just did not like this series at all. I went ahead and binged it. I thought it was just super shallow. The character development was absolutely absent. There was no real mystery to be solved here. You were just along for the ride because they kept introducing things that there was just no foreshadowing of. And overall, I really didn't care about how this whole thing was going to get resolved anyway. So luckily, I was able to trade this series off for Mario Kart 8 on the Switch. Next up is a series that just saw a collector's edition reprint, and don't get me wrong, it's a series that I very much enjoyed, but I just felt like it was time for it to go, and that was Thermae Romae. It's a 6-volume series that follows a man who's building baths in Rome. He's just having a lack of inspiration, and then one day he gets transported to modern Japan where he studies the baths in Japan and then takes those influence back with him to ancient Rome and builds these awesome bathhouses. It was a great read, and if you want to check out my thoughts on the series, go ahead and go to my reading log from last November. I think that's where you're going to find it. But does it have a lot of rereadability? Absolutely not. It was just a great series that I wanted to ingest, and it's a really nice addition. I think if it just really connected with me more, if I had more of an asphyxiation with the characters, then maybe it would have stayed in my collection. But overall, I finished the read. I went, yeah, that was good, and that was it. Next up, we have 3 volumes here of Colorless from 7 Seas. So the problem with this series is that it shouldn't have been called Colorless. It should have been called Contextless, because there was all these battles, but there was no context to anything that was going on. So after 2 volumes, I still didn't understand anything about the characters or really the whole premise of what is going on with these different teams, and I said, forget it. I don't even care about this series anymore. It's really, really bad. Another mecha series I decided to let go was Levius and the hardcover volumes 1 to 3 complete in just one little omnibus. So I was going to keep this in my collection and read it eventually. It had boxing in it, you had robots, seemed pretty cool, but then Tony Reed's manga said that she just absolutely hated it because the antagonist was just really, really dumb, and I was like, oh, no. She said the artwork was great, but the story was just so lackluster, and that immediately made me go, nope, 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 nope. The next series that I let go that I kind of regret letting go is Children of the Sea volumes 1 to 5. I had just picked this up very recently. I had a great deal on it. It was in great condition. It's been out of stock for a while, so I don't know why I let it go. The influence from this unhaul also came from Tony Reed's manga. She said that it was a very good read, but it was really, really weird. And when I was looking at it from the rest of my collection and the TBR, it was just so far down. I mean, I wasn't even probably going to touch this series until late 2024, and I was like, forget it. I just, nah. Last up here in the sets of manga, I have the Saga of Tanya the Evil, the manga adaptation, volumes 1 to 5. So this was a series that I bought on Mercari back in like 2019, right when I first started collecting, and I never read it. It just sat on my shelf. It continued to move around in the collection, and then I saw a video Manga Sloth saying he just did not like this series at all, and then it got even more down on the list, and then at this point I was like, I don't even know why I wanted this in the first place. I think the reason why I picked this up was because when I first started collecting in 2019, I was just picking up anything and everything. I saw that it was a great deal on Mercari, so I just picked it up. And looking at it now, it really wasn't that great of a deal, but I was a manga rookie, so I didn't know what a good deal was. So not only did I lose money on the series, but it was also a bad series that I never wanted to read in the first place. And last up here are a bunch of single volumes that I have let go over the past couple months, just series that I gave a try and I just did not like. So in rapid fire order, we have Correspondence to the End of the Universe, Box of Light, Futari Escape, Imaginary, Execuza and Stray Kitten, and The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess, Volume 1 of the light novel. All of these series I enjoyed. I gave them all a 6.5 to 7 out of 10, but they weren't series that I definitely wanted to collect in the future. They didn't have a lot of rereadability after that first volume, nor did I care about the characters or where the story was headed. And 3 one-shots I decided to move out of my collection were Skygrazer, which I absolutely hated, and you should check out my December reading log if you want to know more about that one. Voices of a Distant Star, which is a manga adaptation of the anime movie from Makoto Shinkai. It was a good manga adaptation, but I have the anime film, so I'll just ingest it that way. And The Gods Lie, one of the first one-shots I ever read. It was very good. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I actually totally regret getting rid of this slice of life drama series. I wish I would have kept it and just read it again, but it's always on sale on Manga Swap, so I'll probably just end up picking it up eventually. And that's it for my winter manga unhaul. I think it's really important for me to do this video, and it's a very highly requested video because people are always wondering, how are manga tubers picking up 60, 70, 80, 100 volumes of manga every month? You just think we're just have disposable income, which some of us do, but a lot of us are just circulating things out of the collection. So a lot of this stuff I was just letting go over the last couple months that you guys just haven't seen. I'm very much open to letting things go, and I hope this video shows you guys that yeah, I actually let go of more manga than I actually picked up in the last 2 months. It's always about moving things out of the collection and then reinvesting that money into new series that you really want to try, because there's always stuff coming out and your tastes are always changing. So it's always important to reflect on your collection and see what needs to go and what needs to stay. And also with my manga collecting, I've become way more strict on what stays in the collection and what goes and where things are going to get dropped. I have no problem now dropping a series after 1 volume. Usually I used to give it 3 volumes, but now just 1 and you're out. And if a series gets below an 8 overall for me, I mean, it really just doesn't have a place in the collection because it just doesn't have that rereadability factor that the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s have. If I gave a manga a 7 or below, there's an obvious reason why I did that. And because of that reason, I probably don't want to reread it because I'm going to have those same feelings that I had before. So yeah, I'd love to see more of these videos come out. Honestly, it's very similar to a reading log because I get to hear more people's thoughts. So I hope that other manga tubers decide to do this as well. As always, if you enjoy my videos, please hit that like button, tap the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you know when more of my videos come out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.